Moff, you were saying something before or in advance about one of the two gals having a beef with men or some grievances or something. What was that?
Oh, well, I think that was the next step, like for Rachel. I think she's
Okay.
realizing now in being in the dating market, and we had a couple quips back and forth that she's had some, I think, less than positive interactions in dating with men over the last, I guess, 8 months. I mean, how long, Rachel, would you say you've been like back out there? I mean, I'm sure that you didn't immediately just, or maybe you did. I don't know. I mean, did you just download the apps and just go nuts? Like, what was the next step?
Um, I think I stayed off the apps for probably like 2 weeks, but I think when you're used to living with somebody and being with somebody constantly, you get lonely very quick. So honestly, it was just nice to have people to talk to in the beginning. But the dating world is trash. I also am like, I'm too old for the games. Dating is not fun to me. I'm like looking for my person, not rushing it, but I also don't have time for guys that just want to sleep around or, you know, do that kind of thing.
So what, like, I mean, I hear from a lot of guys about the struggles they have, dating and, the bad luck they have and the ghosting and everything that sort of like comes along with that. Somebody in the chat just said, welcome to the club. What are the main problems that you're seeing out there? That you're actually experiencing yourself as a newly single gal that's looking for a serious guy.
I think a lot of problems. Now, I've had Tinder when it first came out, and it first came out when I had just turned 18. So I had it for a while.
It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tinder came out in 2013.
Yeah.
It was mostly a hookup app at that time.
Yes.
I mean, it still is for the most part.
Yes. I think that like when I first downloaded it way back in the day, a lot of people were using it, yes, to hook up, and that was about it. But now I've noticed that, mind you, me and my fiance, we actually met off Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I've re-downloaded again, I noticed a lot of guys, I feel like they just want someone to stroke their ego. Like they just want to be on there to see what girls they're going to match with, not carry on a conversation at all.
Mm-hmm.
Get your Snapchat and be your pen pal for 6 months and never even plan on meeting you.
That's interesting. Get your Snapchat and then be your pen. Like, how much of that do you think is guys just awkward, anxious, socially uncalibrated to the point where it's like they get a match, they get a conversation, but they don't know how to ask somebody out?
I mean, I'm sure it could be that, but I feel like,
because I mean, you're not going to ask them out. You're not going to say, "How about we go grab a drink," right?
oh, I totally would.
Oh, you would?
Yes.
So why wouldn't you just ask them out then if you dig their vibe?
I do.
Hmm.
And they play games. They just are like, oh, well, I'm free this day. And then the plans don't meet up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people have issues with how much you work too. If you work a lot, like I work 13-hour days every single day. So it's hard for me.
13-hour days, 7 days a week?
Yes.
What do you do?
I work for Infinity.
Infinity, the car company?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you do there?
I'm a service advisor. So I tell people what's wrong with their car.
13-hour days are long days. Like, is the service department open on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays too?
Yes.
It is?
Yep.
Because they're not open here on the weekends. So those are some long ass hours.
Yeah, it depends on like what county you're in, but they are open on weekends depending on the county that you're in.
Okay. So is it a scheduling issue? Like you can't coordinate a day of the week that works for you when you're not working the 13-hour days, 7 days a week?
I find that since I have been in...
Because I'll tell you, like, from the point of a guy, like if your availability is so scarce because you're prioritizing working at Infinity, dealing with people's car issues over because I mean, you say that you're looking for something serious, right? Like you want a serious guy, you want to develop something further, you know, you want to move to the next level sort of thing. Working a lot of hours is a bit of a turnoff for quite a few guys, right? Because I mean, your availability is not there, right? So if the guy's like, hey, you know, I'm available Tuesday at this time to grab a drink, and you're like, well, I get off at this time, so that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when do you sleep? I mean, that's nuts.
When do you do anything aside from just work? I mean, 13-hour days. Because you got the commute, you got to eat, you got to do some, you know, laundry and a few other things in between all that.
My man works like 14 hours a day, so I get it.
Your guy works 14 hours a day?
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys are together. You've got a kid together. You guys are like
I get it.
Going somewhere.
No, that's what I'm saying. I get it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, like from the dating, you know, angle, if you meet a guy or you're talking to guys off of dating apps and your availability is so limited because I mean, you know, 13-hour days, you're talking like, what is this service department open at 8 and closes at 8 or 9?
No, I'm there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm there till 7 o'clock tonight is when I left.
Okay. And then like, you're probably cooked by 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Like, you know, you got to crash if you're getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah. I usually go to bed at 9 or 10.
Right. So you don't have much. It's like, okay, you know, I have time for dates at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or maybe like right after work, still in your service gear, right?
Yeah, it's hard during the week. I usually tell people weekends are best for me. Sometimes my job is pretty lenient. Like they'll be like, okay, well, if you want to leave early, that's cool. But most of the time, you know, I think I'm looking for someone who's on my level. And
what does that mean on your level?
Like I want someone who has a drive and wants to add to my life and I add to theirs, not be in competition or them still living at their parents' house. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you have to have a drive in order to do things. I mean, that's just what I'm looking for. Can I just
stop for a sec with all that stuff? And I want to come back to it because I love this part of the conversation. But one of the things I've noticed with the ladies when we do these ladies' night shows, it's like you're so reluctant to disparage and call stuff out publicly on a show, but on private conversations on social media, you'll just, and you know, when I say you, I'm not talking about you specifically, Rachel. I'm just talking about women in general. They'll just shit on guys hard, right? So when you say that if the guy lives at home, not that there's anything wrong with that, there's something definitely wrong with that, right? Like if you're 28 and you're living at home with mommy and daddy and mommy's still folding your laundry and, you know, making all of your meals, women have a problem with that. Can we at least be honest with that?
I think it depends on what's going on in your life.
How so?
Can we get some elaboration on what you mean by that then?
Let's say if you're taking care of your parents because they're ill.
That's not the example that I use though.
What's your example?
The guy that lives at home that's not getting out on his own 2 feet and, you know, showing the drive and ambition that women are looking for.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what I'm looking for.
Is that what you're running into?
A lot of guys do have that going for them, yes.
Okay. But that's not a turn on for you?
No.
Okay. So we can call that a turn off. We can call that not a good thing.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So coming back to what you're dealing with, sorry to interrupt and sort of sidetrack on that. It's just that's one of the things, Moff, that sort of grinds my gears is like when we have this, you know, have these conversations with the gals and it's like, let's just be honest about it and say, guys, get your shit together, stop living at home, mooching off your parents, you know, become something, become competent, become captivating, go do something with your life, go out there and put a dent in your universe. Like go out in there and be a force of awesomeness, right? Just wanted to call that out because it's one of the things that grinds my gears because gals are afraid to say those things. Go make some serious money. You want somebody on your level. So define what your level is. So what kind of guy are you looking for? Like if you could create this avatar of, you know, the Mr. version that you're after.
Do you mean physical or mental or both?
Give me it all.
So obviously I want someone who's driven. I personally myself, I want to make as much money as possible. I want to be a boss woman. I want to do everything there is to do. I want to see the world, all that great stuff. I want to be fit and I want to be hot. And I'm the guy that I'm looking for. I want to be driven. I enjoy people who work out because I work out a ton. Most of the time, I'm usually at the gym right now. So I love the gym. It's my outlet to get out all my stress from work. Other than that,
what kind of physique does he have to have? Like a muscular physique, a swimmer's body? Like, what are you looking for?
I like guys who are like super muscular.
Okay, so you like a muscular dude. How tall?
As long as you're taller than me, that's fine.
And what's your height?
5'5".
Okay, so that's pretty easy. So a guy 5'6" or higher. Okay.
Are you writing it all down?
Well, I'm making some notes here. Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, like as far as his character, you know, what he does for a living.
I don't really like anything in particular that I'm looking for as far as like in a career. I feel that at our point in our lives, like with our age, you should be in a career, not a job, not, you know, working as a bagger at Giant or something like that. You should have a career and know what you want to do with your life.
So what's a career? Like a service advisor at an automotive dealership and hire?
A career would be, I think anything that you are super passionate about, that you can climb the ladder and you have a set goal. Like, for instance, in my case, I want to be a general manager of a dealership. I want to own a dealership one day. That's my goal. But I have to start somewhere and work my way up. And I have worked my butt off to get to where I am. And I want that same thing for the person that I'm looking for.
Okay. So like what kind of guys that you've been attracted to in the past while you're dating? Like what do they do for a living? Like what sort of careers do they have?
So my ex was in the military. That was fine. He worked very hard. And you know, like all of his PT tests, he passed them all with like flying colors. Great for him. Other than that, I have been with some guys that just weren't on my level. I can't even, like, one of my exes still lived with his mom and just like smoked weed in her basement, and that was just, he didn't even have a job. Like I've been with guys who were like electricians, plumbers, like you name it.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here and pin down below in the top comment. You'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.